Again, this is a grab bag you get at the Sephora yard sale. When they're trying to get rid of the rose ink and the give, they also just throw this in. Hey y'all, welcome to Clover. The Sephora sale is upon us, and I must do my job as a conscious beauty YouTuber and push back against the French juggernaut that we all know, love, and tolerate. I have a previous video about the sale. It sort of questions the popularity of the sale, why it is held in such high regard in the beauty space that I occupy. If you want to watch that, I will link it below. This time around though, I was trying to think of the hook or the twist I would put on my Sephora sale video, and I decided to just do an anti-haul of the Sephora sale. So the items that may be recommended to you over and over again that are going to be heavily featured and advertised as part of the sale. Really focusing on holiday sets, minis, all that crap, quite frankly, and new hyped launches. Now, caveat as always, I definitely could make a Sephora recommendations video pretty easily. I have a lot of products from Sephora I love. I'm wearing some right now. If you look at my description box, I will tell you what I'm wearing because I'm going to try to keep a better track of that because last video I forgot, quite frankly. But this one I actually wrote it down right after I did my makeup. So you can see some of the products used today are definitely my Sephora favorites. My last video is a favorites video that features products that are sold at Sephora. This isn't saying everything at Sephora is bad at all. And I honestly may even shop the sale myself, but why am I not making a recommendations video? Why am I not at least presenting that side of it? There are going to be and already are so many Sephora sale recommendation videos on YouTube, TikTok, probably Facebook if I went there. I don't. And not just videos, but paid content, marketing, really heavy advertisements. This sale is, especially, again, if you are part of the beauty community, the beauty sector that I am, it is pushed on you very, very heavily. I view what I do on this channel as counter-programming a lot of the times, and especially when it comes to giant sales and promotions like this one, is giving another perspective and kind of breaking through the noise of the buy bug that is going around on social media. So I'm very much not judging if you do want to participate in the sale or if you are looking for recommendations. I'm probably in the same boat. I'm a pretty frequent Sephora shopper as I am a Sephora Rouge. But I really never ever want to push people toward overspending, toward buying things that they don't need, which I think happens a lot at the Sephora sale. Certainly has happened to me. I talked about when I did my no-buy last year, and probably in that Sephora sale video I mentioned earlier, about how some of my worst overspending happened during Sephora sales. It's just an event that really encourages it, and it's very easy to fall into because it takes a while and there's so much content made about it, and there's just a lot of pressure that if you love makeup and you love consuming beauty content, that you're missing out by not participating in what is likely the biggest single sale of the year. Obviously Black Friday is also huge, but in the makeup space, at least in feeling, maybe not in actual dollar amounts, I don't know. At least in feeling, there isn't a bigger sale than the Sephora sale. Even though technically it's definitely not the best savings you can get, and it really is not doing much to take off, too much off that price. I also am focusing on anti-hauling new products and holiday sets, especially the new products, because maybe not my number one problem, but one of my largest issues with Sephora sale recommendation videos is that they so often feature products that creators clearly have not actually tested out an extensive amount. A lot of people will get the new and try it a couple of times or try it for a week, and they'll be like, I recommend this is awesome, you should definitely buy it. And what I will say is, if you are following recommendations from your favorite creators, which is again something I do, I'm speaking from experience. A lot of times when I make videos like this, it's not coming, even for judgment of other creators, it's coming from the perspective of a really avid beauty content consumer, less so than a creator, I would say. If it's a foundation that just came out 2 weeks ago that they tried out once into trying new makeup and they are now slotting it into their Sephora recommendation sales, I just don't think you should trust that. Not because that person is necessarily a liar or is trying to deceive you. They just don't have the experience, in my opinion, to properly review or recommend something. Here's what I do, and you can do whatever you want. But I like to follow creators' recommendations when they have tried things for months. When they reach for the product, they're recommending over new releases. When I can tell that product has wear. If somebody's holding up a blush and you cannot even see an ounce of use in it and they're telling you to buy it, I just really encourage you to think about if a creator has put a product through its paces like you will. So if you're looking for an everyday foundation and a creator has barely made a dent in the bottle and they have only used it like in a couple of trying new makeup videos and they're telling you to go buy a foundation, that's not a great testimony for you because it's an everyday foundation for you, right? You're going to be wearing it at work. You're going to be wearing it in a lot of different situations. Because so often people are just recommending what is new, what is shiny, what is going to be on that Sephora front page, and what is sent in PR. And that's all I want to say about that. Now let's get to anti-hauling. The first product I want to talk about is and I will be looking over here because I have the products on my computer, the Westman Atelier Mini Baby Cheeks Blush Trio. My thing about this is I don't know when this switch happened, but we are now paying full product prices for a collection of minis, and I just don't quite understand the appeal of that and the value of that. Westman Atelier is a very nice brand. Their minis are, I guess, on the nicer side, although you're not going to get the nice magnetic packaging. You're not going to get the nice luxury feel, which I feel like is the big benefit of buying from Westman Atelier. But it's $60 for 3 little stick complexion products. That still feels like a luxury price tag for me, and I'm getting plastic Barbie doll toys, basically. It's in this, I guess, special edition, really dark green packaging, which is very festive. And they each have less than 3 grams of product in them, so like 2.5 grams of product. If you use a blush every day, if you use your cream blush every day, these are not going to last you that long. Petal, which is a dusty nude, Poppet, which is a poppy pink, and Mimi, which is a tawny beige. I just think $60 is a lot to pay for, like, mini is short for miniature. It's a lot to pay for miniature products. I just think a lot of times with these sets, and you'll probably hear me say this more because I have quite a few sets in here, just paying for the full-size product you are actually interested in seems like a better deal a lot of the time because you get the actual shade you want and you don't have just 3 little cheapy little plasticky blushes floating around that you paid $60 for. Because honestly, the Sephora sale discount is not that large, so you're probably just saving tax on that. Another mini set that I want to talk crap about is the Summer Fridays Mini Neutrals Lip Butter Balm set. In this one, you get 4 of these very, very tiny tubes of lip balm. They each have 5 grams of lip butter balm in them. You get the vanilla shade / scent, vanilla beige, iced coffee, and brown sugar. I actually do own a full size of the iced coffee in this product that I impulse bought, I think, on a trip this summer. I think I bought it in Minneapolis. It's really lovely. It's a really nice texture. The tint is a really lovely level. It's like more of a gel liquid lip balm situation. It's a lovely product, and I really like it. And one of the big reasons I like it is the packaging is just really lovely. And I cannot tell if these are going to have the same applicators on the end. You know, there was like a few months I was reaching for that. Like, that was my go-to lip when I needed some hydration, when I wanted a tinted balm. And I've like gone through it. I've used at least half of it up. Like, this is a product you are, if you end up liking it, you are going to run through. And these balms, like, and these minis, again, mini stands for miniature, and these all look very, very small. I just glanced at a couple of reviews. A lot of them are like, you get very little product in each of these. So yes, you get to sample and try them out, but a sample is usually something given for free through the Sephora rewards program, or even just inputting like a code that Sephora is featuring in their offers section. So again, I would maybe think about, what if I just bought the shade that I actually wanted? Because also, these are just going to get lost really easily. That's the other thing about mini lip products to me. I always end up losing them. So even though I do technically like this product, I'm paying $25 for 4 things that I really should be getting for free with orders. I'm not seeing the value in that, even if I get to sample all of them. Okay, next is something I was really tempted to buy, and gosh, I do have that reward, but I I think I'm going to talk myself and maybe you out of this. This is the Glossier U Travel Spray Trio. So, if you know, Glossier U is my favorite perfume. I'm actually out of it right now, and they also just released 2 new fragrances under the U umbrella. One's a more woody scent, one's a more gourmand scent. You get 3 travel sprays of all 3 of Glossier's perfumes, and it comes in a weird molded plastic ornament thing. Glossier's packaging is always very pretty and aesthetic, but this one is a little lost on me because I'm gonna take the perfumes out and use it on my tree? Probably not. Okay, here's the thing. I was really hoping they would do a set like this because I want to... One, I miss having you in my fragrance collection because I don't have that many fragrances, and the ones I have now I don't like nearly as much as you, and I just miss smelling like that even though I have the deodorant. So I've been thinking about repurchasing it. But I've also been really curious about the new scents, and I have smelled... I was about to say swatch them. I was about to say it again! I have smelled them in store a couple of times, and I can't fully decide if I like them or not, but I think a big part of you is that it becomes one with you. It's like, the fragrance isn't complete until it's on you. Sorry, that cracked me up. I think I just blacked out for a second. I feel like actually getting a sample or a travel spray of each of the new fragrances might be advantageous because I could then see how it mixes with my body chemistry, blah, blah, blah. So this interested me when it launched, and I was like, I think I might want to buy that. And then I saw the price, $82 for 3 travel spray fragrances. I understand the Glossier fragrances are priced pretty well in the fragrance world. However, given what the price level the Glossier is at and the full-size bottle is at, I could buy a full-size bottle for less than the price of this travel spray trio. And that math is not mathing to me. There's going to be one of these I probably won't like as much as the rest. I know I really like the original U, but I may not like the more gourmandy one, or I may not like the more woodsy one, or I might not like either of them on me, and then I've just wasted a lot of money on 3 dinky little travel sprays when I could have just bought a full bottle of the original U and been on my merry way. Because that's something I know I'm going to completely pan. And $82 even after a discount, like, that is just not speaking to me as a good deal. And I have noticed this with Glossier stuff. I know everyone's prices are going up, but one thing I've always appreciated about Glossier is that I do think they're really well priced given their quality, because I end up preferring a lot of their formulas to other brands I pay more for, but now I just think that is slipping away, like, because with this, and then they also launched a body cream of you that is exorbitantly priced in my opinion, especially compared to their other body care. They may start selling travel sprays of the new fragrances on their own soon. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe after the holidays and they sell a bunch of $82 overpriced travel spray trios, which is lame. That's lame. Like, it's lame. Okay, the Makeup Forever Mini Artist Color Pencil Lip Liner and Eyeliner Kit. So you get 5 Makeup Forever's multi-use pencil formula. I feel like this is a very popular formula. I feel like Katie Jane Hughes is the one who really put it on the map, but this is a popular formula for a lot of makeup artists and for a lot of creators. The shades you get in here are... Tell me, please. Anywhere Caffeine, Wherever Walnut, Limitless Brown, Whatever Black, and All Around White. The first 3 I mentioned are very popular lip liner shades in the line, and then the black and the white I think are a different formula, I want to say, and are more meant as eyeliners, but again, they are multi-use. So you get 5 minis in this. For $39, you get 5 mini pencils. And again, pencils are something we will go through. If this is a go-to lip liner for you or a go-to eyeliner for you, it's not unforeseen that you use up an entire lip pencil, so having the mini and like chopping that pencil in half and then paying $40 basically for 5 of them, I guess that's like $8 a pencil, so it's not the worst. But I will also say, are you going to use all 5 of these? Because I almost bought this the other day. Let me speak my truth. I was looking for a new black eyeliner, And I saw this and I was like, well, I could try that formula and then I would also have a white. I don't need a white eyeliner. Why was that a plus? I don't know. But I would also have a white that would sit in my collection, collect dust. And then I would also have minis of 3 lip liners that I wasn't super interested in or in need of since I've been loving the e.l.f. ones. What happens and what these value sets almost like prey on is when you are looking for something and you're like, oh, well, I could get a fifth of this is what I really am looking for, but then I'll get 4 other new things and it'll be awesome because then I'll have more. And it's like, I'm buying what I need, you know, and does one really need a black pencil eyeliner? But let's say you do, you're buying what you need, but then you're getting all this bonus stuff and the value's there. And then I thought about it and I was like, okay, I'm really only buying this for one item in the set. I could just buy the full size Makeup Forever artist pencil in whatever black or whatever the name was. And then I realized that's not even the one that's not the black eyeliner from Sephora I wanted. I could just buy the actual eyeliner I want, pay less money than the set costs for it, get exactly what I want, use it all the way up. Life is good, and I don't just have 4 other minis floating around in my collection, probably getting forgotten about. Because the other thing about mini pencils that I really don't like, and I really don't like, you know, when you get to the end of a lip liner, is they become hard to see in a cup. And if you store your lip liners or eyeliners in a cup, especially if it's a tall cup, I just spit everywhere. That's fine. I hope you didn't feel that. You're not going to be able to see it. Sorry, I'm really passionate about this. You're not going to be able to see it when you're looking for your other liners. So inevitably it's going to get lost. So these are already coming in short. So they're going to get lost in the cup. Lost in the sauce, lost in the cup. And you're not going to be, like, at least in my, I'm looking at my makeup vanity, I'm not going to see these when I'm doing my makeup, and I will forget I have them. And that's $39 down the drain, and it doesn't even matter if I think that was a good value for what I got. I didn't want what I got, and I'm not able to see what I got. The Ilia Ethereal Baked Face Palette. This one almost got me too, because I'm an Ilia girl. I love Ilia. I know. Tomato, tomato. It's not the most popular brand to love. And I think the shade range on this and a lot of their products, not good. I think they could do a lot better. And their items are very, very expensive. But everything I've tried from Ilia, I have really, really loved. I think they have quite a handle on quality and really good formulas. I think they do a shit job of making that inclusive and making it so everyone can use those beautiful formulas. And also, when you do that, you just lose an audience, and it doesn't matter if you later do expand your shade ranges, because it's like, well, why would certain people who you don't represent buy from you? You've lost the privilege of being able to, you know, take their money. Anyway, so caveat there. I very much am not endorsing Ilia's worldview or shade ranges, but I do really like Ilia as a personal makeup consumer, not as a beauty creator who maybe is looking more at the context of inclusivity. As somebody who just buys makeup, puts it on, goes to work, goes about their business, Ilia usually works out for me. And I actually have a regular at the shop who works for Ilia, and she's really cool. Anyway, so they came out with these face palettes, and I love a face palette. You know what? Let me speak my truth. I love a face palette. I do. My Hourglass palette, I am gonna hit pan on it. Like, I love it. It's so convenient. It's great for traveling. Not that I travel that much, but when I do, I usually bring it. Has a really lovely mirror. I have really found it useful. I wouldn't mind having more, although always looking at the fact that when I bring in a new shiny one, that means I'm going to reach for the Hourglass one that I love so much and that I'm excited to hit pan on, so have to keep that in mind. So that's like kind of the first thing with this. Also, I swatched it at Sephora, and I really love the textures because they're these beautiful baked products. I love how sheer they are. That's kind of my preference, especially with powder products, because I layer a lot of the time, and the tones looked really pretty, and it did look really pretty. However, the packaging is it's heinous. Like, I think they were, when they launched this, they were like, look at this amazing, custom, luxurious, clean, seashell conscience-inspired packaging. It's beautiful. And all the comments were like, oh my god, you all killed it with the aesthetic. Yes, clean mama, take the talcum preservatives out. To me, however, it looks like a sex toy, right? Like you were thinking it too. Like this looks like a sex toy. Like when I saw that out, like especially with the the door closed. I was like, where does that go? Apparently on your face. Oh. It's pretty expensive, and also this formula is new for Ilia, and I don't love launching formulas in holiday palettes. I would have rather them have launched single compact, at least baked blushes or bronzers, so that more would be known of the formula and you wouldn't have to make such a big investment in an unproven formula. That doesn't seem smart. And also holiday palettes are kind of known for cutting corners, so launching your baked formula, which is kind of seen as this more luxury thing, and something that is known for not having the most high quality formulas associated with it, that being a holiday face palette, it just doesn't add up to being worth nearly $60. Ugh. So y'all have probably heard about the Sephora Rewards advent calendar that completely flopped and is getting dragged across the internet. Sephora is also selling one for $50 that they have decided to fill with Sephora Collection crap. There's some face masks, a mini lip liner, I think, maybe a mini mascara, some nail polishes, and then just like scrunchies and samples of their skincare. First of all, who uses Sephora Collection skincare? That doesn't seem like a good idea. Because it's like the graphic design team at Sephora, I don't know. They're really not on top of it, especially with that skincare line. Like, I always walk past it when I'm in the skincare section of Sephora, and I'm like, ooh. It's like white refrigerator vibes at Sephora Collection skincare. And Nene Leakes needs to go in there and be like, all right, like, we gotta renovate the design. But this is the type of thing where I feel like Sephora should be paying me money to take it. This is stuff that Sephora has just had sitting in storage, and now they're trying to have like a yard sale. It should be like a free grab bag that I get. Please do us a favor and take this, because we don't need these silver scrunchies and skincare samples anymore. Like samples of something no one wants to sample. Do you want a sample of a Sephora Collection moisturizer? No, that sounds terrible. Thank you. The fact that they are making you pay $50 for the pleasure, and it's $132 value. Girl, stop lying. Stop lying. That's not $132 value. Again, this is a grab bag you get at the Sephora yard sale when they're trying to get rid of the rose ink and the give. They also just throw this in. Now I'm gonna get a bunch of comments that are like, actually the Sephora Collection is really good. It's actually great. I don't care. I'm happy for you, I suppose. I have a liquid lip liner from Sephora Collection. It's pretty good. But, that's not like why we're going to Sephora. Let's be honest. Last Sephora best of set I want to talk about is the Cozy and Clean makeup and skincare set. It doesn't matter what's in this. I'm not talking about the specific products here. The reason you shouldn't buy this is in the name. Clean makeup and skincare in this set. You're getting how many items? 10-piece set. At least 4 of these are full-sized. The other are mini and deluxe samples. Clean makeup and skincare at Sephora usually, if not always, doesn't feature preservatives or the traditional preservatives that work. So you will be buying a bunch of stuff, bringing in a bunch of stuff. You don't know if you're gonna like it. You're basically sampling all of it, probably. And there's little to no chance you're going to use all of this up. And even if you did, it would probably take you a while. And at least half of this is probably gonna be bad by the time you get around to using it up. Because these are all clean brands. It's in the name. So to purchase a large amount of clean beauty items at one time, I don't want to say it's foolish, but it doesn't seem like the best idea, because you're just not going to be able to use all of them in time. It's gonna go bad. I think this is the last set I'm going to talk about, the Ordinary Mini Discovery Set. It's only $25. Oh, I'm sorry. It's only $28.80. Such a random price. They're saying it's a nearly $40 value. They're all mini products. Obviously, this isn't that much money. It's less than $30, and it appears you're getting a lot of stuff. These are all minis, and if you use skincare every day, you're going to go through it pretty quickly. The thing about The Ordinary is that it's all pretty low cost. It's a pretty low barrier to entry. You can just buy a couple of these full-size items probably are going to be less than the minis set. Should you really be altering that many steps in your skincare at once? You don't need to spend $28.80 to get a taste of The Ordinary. As much as I ragged on the Westman Atelier set earlier, it's a pretty large barrier to entry with that brand. It's a luxury brand. You need to spend some cash if you're gonna see any of the products. It just seems unnecessary to spend even more on less product and on a higher volume of product that you probably don't need. Alright, now we're going to move to kind of hyped up new launches or popular launches that I want to anti-haul for y'all, because I just don't see... I don't want to say I don't see a lot of people enjoying them, but I just see a lot of maybe pressure or hype around these items, and I want to dispel that. Again, counter-programming. Alright, the Milk Makeup Cooling Water Jelly Tint Lip and Cheek Blush Stain. We love to just throw words into names. Like, why can't we just call it the blush stain or the lip and cheek? Like, everyone needs an editor, and no one more than makeup companies, as it turns out. So this isn't a new product, but they did launch a couple of new shades, and it is a product that just gets hyped up a lot, and I think may end up in a lot of people's recommendation videos. And I don't know, I like Milk Makeup as a brand, but a lot of these more popular, it's a foam, it's a jelly stick, it's cake, like... It's like what I said last video, I just whatever happened to good green blush? It's green, sticky, dewy, maybe not sticky. Like, sticky seems really not like a great attribute. It's a very hyped product. It looks like a piece of Jell-O or whatever, and it's a stain. These seem so hard to work with. I have seen a lot of bad reviews for these just because it takes a lot of fuss to get to the end result. And the good reviews I've seen of these, I feel like the creators still have kind of a hard time with it, but they are okay with the end result. And they're like, oh, these are so fun, these are so innovative, you should definitely check these out. But then, like, I just don't see this as an everyday item for anyone, really. Like, I don't see a lot of people constantly wanting to mess around with something that requires a lot of blending, that is sometimes incapable of blending, that leaves a weird stain on your cheeks. I know the Benetint is risen in popularity again, and that's a pretty popular, I guess, cult classic. I don't know if it's really... I don't even know what that means anymore. This is kind of in that vibe, but in a cream format, and it's cool, it's a cool texture, it's fun, it's flirty. Looks like it came out of a vending machine, whatever. It seems not worth the fuss, not worth the muss, and I've seen a lot of people struggle to make it look like it is blended out. If you're somebody who rushes every day, and like let's say you want to get this as your everyday blush, and you're somebody who rushes to work every day. Me. One of the benefits of a cream blush is that they're really easy to put on, they're really easy to blend out, they don't usually require a lot of fuss, and if they don't look that great, like, it's not too much of a commitment. This seems like the opposite of all of that. And are you gonna have time every day to hold your blush's hand while you try to blend it out in a time? Like, it just seems like a lot of work for something that doesn't need to be that hard. But we are going to talk about a string of hyped up eyeshadow palettes. We're gonna start with Makeup by Mario. The Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette, Moonlight. The hype on this palette is very real. A lot of people are really excited about it because they loved the last iteration, the original Ethereal Eyes. And I'm somebody who mentioned Makeup by Mario, his cool neutrals all matte palette in my favorites video. I quite like that palette. I use it a ton. I used it today to build this look. I understand the hype. I understand wanting to buy this, especially because the last iteration of this palette sold out very quickly. This one is still in stock. I don't know if it'll sell out in the sale. What I will say is, one, if you already have the Ethereal Eyes palette, have you been longing for a cooler version of it? Or do you just now want a cooler version of it because it is available for you to purchase and a lot of your favorite creators and friends are now getting it? Two, and this is hard with limited edition to follow through with this, but what I mentioned earlier I think is very true with this palette. Are people still going to be reaching for it in months, in weeks? And again, I know it's limited edition, it may be something that sells out really quickly and isn't restocked, although I will say I feel like the brand probably learned its lesson with the last Ethereal Eyes, because that one came back and was in stock for a while. I think that was maybe a surprise sleeper hit for them, or they just did not expect all of the attention that one got and how well it did. I thought about buying this because I have been wanting more glittery, fun, sultry, a little bit more cool toned shimmer shades. I feel like that is something I'm somewhat missing in my collection right now. Definitely something I can make do with, but it's just been something I've been thinking about when weighing new purchases. So I was like, well, I really love the cool mattes palette I have for Makeup by Mario. Maybe I should look toward his brand for the shimmers that I'm wanting. And this seems like a really good opportunity to do that. Again, like I said, I already love the cool neutrals palette I have for Makeup by Mario. So a good bit of this palette I probably wouldn't use because I usually like using that palette for cool tone mattes, or it would replace something that I already know and I'm well on my way to hitting pan on, to getting really good use out of. The last time I bought a palette because of the hype was the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, which I do not own anymore. I gave it to my friend who loves it, and she makes really gorgeous eye looks with it. So that turned out well. I'm very happy for her because it really suits her, I think, more than it suited me. But I bought that palette because I saw all of my friends getting it, and I saw a bunch of creators I like getting it, and I felt left out. And I didn't think it through, and I didn't end up using it very much, and ended up passing it on to a friend. Don't buy something just because it's limited edition. Brands love using, especially nowadays with the internet, they love using the, it's sold out the first time, if you don't buy it now, it's gonna go away, and like, it definitely may not. Or even if it does, that's not like the worst counterfactual. Like, missing out on this palette, I think you'd still sleep at night, and I don't think you'd be missing out on much. Okay, opposite side of the color spectrum, and somebody already mentioned Natasha Denona, the I Need a Warm palette. First of all, what a dumb name. Like, I wasn't making videos when this came out, so I couldn't properly rag on the name like I would like to. I think the joke I was going to tell, though, because I did actually film an anti-haul that was lost to time and space that included this palette, but I think the joke I made was it'd be funny if Natasha just kept releasing palettes, but they started to like tell a message like, I need a cigarette, I need a break, I need a vacation, I need a new marketing team because this naming structure is dumb. Things like that. That's a joke I was going to tell about this palette. Anyway, why don't you need it? I'm so certain you have palettes like this. It looks really pretty. Another warm tone palette. As we're entering a season where a lot of people tend to wear cooler shadows. And not all. Some people like to wear warm shadows the entire year. But if you are one of those people, I have to imagine you already own a lot of these tones and shades. And you probably already have a Natasha Denona palette that can dupe the vibes of this pretty similarly. So, and also just the name. I'm sorry, like, not that you should or should not buy something based on a name, but if there ever was a case you shouldn't buy something based on the name. I Need a Warm palette. That is a challenge to the English language. It's tough. It's tough. Even now, like, this was released a bit ago and it got a lot of hype. A lot of the people who tried it really liked it. A lot of people always will buy the new Natasha Denona MIDI release. It doesn't matter if she did release the I Need a Cigarette palette. Like, people are going to buy it, and people love buying into the Natasha Denona system. But then they buy the new palette, and then they end up, going back to the one they already like. The I Need a Nude, or the whatever the other ones are called. Yaka. The one I just gave away. The Huda Beauty Icy Nude eyeshadow palette. Huda Beauty is probably my least favorite eyeshadow formula I've ever tried. So I don't know if this is the same exact formula that was in the Naughty Nudes palette. That is the one palette I've tried from the brand. It was my least favorite formula I've ever found. Outside a drugstore. I've tried like NYX and e.l.f. shadows that are pretty bad. But high-end wise, Sephora wise, I could not stand this formula. They made this big announcement. This is going to be our last big 18 shadow palette. Which I guess was supposed to be big news. I know some people get excited for these every year and have collected them. It wasn't the most exciting announcement to me. I was like, and who gives a shit? Like, it's not like Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath. Like, if Pat McGrath hasn't released a mothership in a minute. But if Pat McGrath came out and said this is the last mothership ever, that would be something where I'm like, ooh, iconic. That would be a moment in beauty history. Or like when Urban Decay fake retired the Naked palette. And that's the other thing about these big announcements. Even if it is like a Pat McGrath or Urban Decay level iconic piece of makeup, this is the last one. With the way virality works, it's almost more of a boon to like kind of discontinue really popular products. Wait a little bit like Urban Decay did with the Naked palette, then bring it back, and then it has all this hype because it's, in 5 or 6 or 7 years, however long it takes, maybe not even that long, Huda's gonna be like, oh my goodness, our big palettes are back. I thought I'd never do it. But then I saw Gemstone and was inspired or something. This looks like all of the rest of them. I don't think the formula is very good. I mean, the mattes, my least favorite thing, they were just so silicone-y. They just like you put it on your eye like with a little brush and then it would just like blend across your face with no effort. They're like super highly pigmented, which I know some people like, but I like a matte I can build. The glitters and shimmers I've tried from that Naughty Nude palette just absolutely Fallout City and just like would not stay on my eye no matter what. Next, we have a couple of Patrick Ta products. First, both very expensive. First, the Patrick Ta, get ready for a long product name, Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin two mentions of skin. Perfecting Foundation for Natural Glow. This is $58. That is on par with luxury brands. And I just do not understand, or it's something that I don't understand. The Patrick Ta brand to me is just really, really overhyped. Their price point makes no sense. It jumps around really oddly, as we'll also see. I'll just go ahead and talk about them. I'll bring in the more edited name, which I appreciate, the Major Dimension Eye Illusion Eyeshadow Duos. $42 for an eyeshadow duo. It just, on paper, and I know the controversy behind, or not the controversy, but just the context is Patrick Ta went to Italy and like consulted the spirit of Renaissance painters and used the finest pearls known to mankind and used those pearls to make the most beautiful eyeshadow duos of all time, and how dare you question the price. And I understand him making a response video and wanting to educate his, I was about to say community, I'm not on the brand, his customers about why he priced things in a certain way. And I understand also when you compare it to single shadows, it may be a better value in per gram. I just think and I guess I'll just shift to fully talking about the eyeshadow duos. I think the hard sell here is that what we see value in a consumer, a really special single eyeshadow is great because you're only getting the shade you want. You control your destiny really well with that purchase because you are picking out the shade, hopefully, that is perfect for you, is the one that if it was in an eyeshadow pan, that was the one you were going to hit pan on. That's the one you had your eye on in another palette, but you're going to get all your use out of it because it's a shade you love and you're going to use all the time. And yes, you have to pay more per gram likely for it, but since you're getting that customization, you're okay with letting go of some of that value, right? Because you're getting exactly what you want. So yeah, I'll pay more up front, but I know that this is going to get used. It's not going to be like my last palette I bought where there's a whole quad of greens, and I hate greens. Even though I love the other 6 shades, I hate greens. So I feel like I lost value in that. Single shadows, there's not a guarantee of anything, I guess, when you purchase something, but there's a really good shot if you get the right shade. This is going to be a home run purchase for you. What the duo does in my mind is that you don't get the customization because you're not choosing 100%. I mean, obviously you're choosing which duo you want, but you don't have the choice of mixing and matching or whatnot. You have to, buy the pre-planned duo that Patrick Ta designed. So that customization lost. So we're no longer maybe getting the home run we thought we would. We're looking at a couple of them and you're like, well, I really like this shade in that one and this shade in the other, but I can't just get those 2 shades. I would have to get 4 shades if I wanted both of those shades, and I'm really just trying to buy one of these duos. And so it complicates that. We're losing the customization. At the same time, the value's not that great because we're only getting 2 shades. At least with the palette, where I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use the entire palette, I'm getting a ton of eyeshadows, or maybe not even a ton, but I'm getting 8 eyeshadows, and there is value in that because I'm saving in the per gram. Duo just seems like the losing end of both of those. It seems like I'm not getting the customization I want, and the value's not really there because it's just 2 eyeshadows for $42. So I think that's where these have really, and the fact that it's Patrick Ta and his palettes are not far off from $42. I know this is a different formula, but still, there's a reason you usually want to see consistency in brands' pricing. And yes, you can tell us, oh, well, this is a better formula and I've used higher quality things. That's why the price hike. What you have released previously did not give enough context that you were then going to come out with a really high-end foundation that's $58 or really high-end eyeshadow duos that are $42. And that is your responsibility as a brand owner. And that's the risk he took in saying, okay, I'm going to release a couple items, maybe not compromise on ingredients like I have in previous releases, or just use harder to find, more premium ingredients. But you just have to realize I've primed my audience to expect a certain cost when they buy from me, and now they're not getting that. So it doesn't matter if these are the finest pearls from Italy. And then I didn't talk about the foundation a bunch, but I swatched it in Sephora and it felt so pedestrian to me. I mean, I didn't put it on my face, obviously. One, I've seen that it's like really, really, really glowy. I've seen most of the people I talk about it not care for it. And not just not care for it, but given the price tag, it doesn't live up to being a nearly $60 foundation. And when I swatched it in Sephora, to me, it could have been a Maybelline foundation. It just felt so standard, and it reminded me of like a heavier Flower Beauty bottle. Both of these releases really miss me, and just because Patrick Ta is a hyped up brand on TikTok and YouTube, I don't think that means that you need to spend your hard-earned money on what look to be overpriced items. Oh, back at it, Westman Atelier, the Vital Skincare Brightening Concealer with Hyaluronic Acid. This is a $48 concealer, so again, Miss Atelier, actually I think her name's Westman, or no, it's Gucci Westman. I'm sorry, I need to stop spinning around this chair. The main thing I wanted to dunk on with this, and I really just included this, I don't see this getting hyped a bunch, but I really just wanted to include this because I thought it was funny when I did that anti-haul that was lost to time and space. One of the points I made was, I think it is so wild to release a $48 concealer in the year of our Lord 2024, and it's called a skin care concealer. That's the second name in the 7-word title. Vital Skincare. And the ingredient call out is hyaluronic acid. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with hyaluronic acid. It's great. It's a lovely ingredient. I use it. I'm sure there's some in my skincare. There's some in everything. But that's the point. It's so ubiquitous. There's a guy in an alley 2 streets away who will probably sell me a concealer with hyaluronic acid. Like, it's wild that Westman Atelier is going the skincare complexion route, and she's like, it has hyaluronic acid. And it's like, well, that would have been nifty in 2018. Now it is 2024, and I think Shop Miss A probably sells hyaluronic acid concealer. Like, and I'm sure it's like a higher premium grade, and there's other skincare benefits. And, you know, she probably was with Patrick Ta in Italy when he was looking for the pearls. She was looking for the acid. I don't know. It's like saying there's pigment in the product at this point. $50 and it has hyaluronic acid in it. Okay. The Meritt Great Skin Priming and Firming Moisturizer with peptides and hyaluronic acid. First of all, I don't like Meritt. Meritt is a brand on paper I should like. I really find it hard to buy into brands when they have a concept that I think falls really flat, and I think Meritt's falls incredibly flat because they are a Sephora brand. And one of the key things about being a Sephora brand is that unofficially and pretty much officially, there's a clip you must release products at to be a Sephora brand, especially if you are a brand like Meritt who came in only a couple years ago. You're not like a legacy brand like a Bare Minerals or something. Like, you are new, you got into the shelves of Sephora. There's an expectation that you're going to be releasing makeup pretty regularly, a new item of makeup pretty regularly. And Meritt does. They do release an item of makeup pretty regularly. Their whole brand identity, when they launched, I don't know if this is still it, but was basically like, beauty has gotten way too complicated. We all have 12 steps to our makeup routines. You're a busy gal, you're just trying to get out the door, you just need these 3 products we're launching with. You just need like this stick, you need a blush, and you need a mascara, and you're out the door. And it just falls flat for me because they just keep releasing more niche, or not even niche, but just like more steps of makeup. It's like, oh, and you probably need a bronzing balm too. Oh my god, and not to mention a single eyeshadow. You need a single eyeshadow. And you need a lipstick, not to mention a lip oil. And probably a fragrance, right? You need a fragrance. And it's just, you can't be a Sephora brand, in my opinion, and have that pitch to me that beauty has gotten too complicated, we all need less, all the while you expand and flesh out your product categories. Yeah, maybe that's true, but it doesn't seem like you're following through with that, because at first it was like, you don't need bronzer or highlight, you just need blush, and then it's like, maybe you need a highlight, and then they're like, fuck it, maybe I need a bronzer. Like, it's just, I don't know. It just bothers me. I just don't like the vibes. I don't like the vibes over at Meritt, I have to be honest. Why I would anti-haul this specific item is, again, in the year of our Lord 2024, what is a priming moisturizer? Any moisturizer can be a priming moisturizer. It's like when somebody says this is a great travel eyeshadow palette. Any eyeshadow palette can be traveled with. Any and maybe not any moisturizer. Most moisturizers on the market can be priming moisturizers. And maybe this has some magical qualities that make it a great base for makeup. I just don't, in my years of experiences with moisturizing primers, it's not likely they're going to replace or be better than a normal moisturizer. Tower 28 powder, the Get Set Blur and Set. What is it called? Get Set Blur and Set. Like, why do they like to repeat names? Get Set Blur and Set talc free pressed setting powder. You probably don't need another powder. And Tower 28 products are known for only being as good as their expiration dates. They're not like that powder that you've had since high school that is still hanging on, that still smells fine. Tower 28 products will go off. They are a clean brand. So if you're going to bring this powder in, you need to make sure that you're going to actually go through it. Otherwise, it may start growing things because there's not things in it that will make it not grow things. You know what I mean? I have never liked anything from Tower 28. That's another brand that I feel like I should on paper like. But I've tried their mascara, hated that. Their concealer is maybe my least favorite liquid concealer I've ever tried. I do not understand the hype around that one. Like, I love lavender and I like cute things and I like the aesthetic of the brand and the price point's really great for Sephora. Although $28 for pressed setting powder is getting up there. They're kind of going the way of Glossier too, where it's like, all right, now the one thing I kind of enjoyed about you, you're getting rid of. Like, that's really expensive given your previous releases. Why does this keep happening? This is very specific, but I feel like so many people who have a pan on their Kosas Cloud set are thinking maybe is now the time to pick up the Tower 28 powder. Finish your Kosas Cloud set first, girls. Ladies, listen up. Finish your Kosas Cloud set powder first before you buy the Tower 28 one. Because the Kosas Cloud set will surely go bad, because it also is like Tower 28 clean. Use that up first, and then you can try the Tower 28 one if you really want to. Alright, last product we're going to talk about, and then I can stop filming, thank God. The Milk Makeup. The Milk Makeup Hydro Grip and Glow Illuminating Primer with Light Reflecting Pearls. There's not a world that this is good. I cannot believe that there's a world where this is good. The Hydro Grip Primer is like tacky and grips. Why would I want that texture associated with something that clearly has light reflecting pearls, that has shimmer in it? That just seems like a recipe for weird texture, for inability to sink into the skin. Like, I just like the thought of like something that's tacky and also like has shimmer in it. Ew. For me personally, and I think a lot of people, when we use glowy things like that, putting it all over your face kind of just makes you look sweaty and defeats the purpose of like the etherealness of it. Alright, that is all they wrote on this one. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it through this video, thank you. If you haven't yet, you should definitely subscribe. I do a lot of content like this. I like to focus on conscious beauty, consumerism. I like to focus on conscious consumerism in the beauty space. I'm also trying to do more commentary, kind of more like personal essay almost type videos. I'm still kind of working on that. This is definitely a video that's pretty typical of my channel though. I like to try to talk you out of new releases, try to demystify, try to offer some counter programming, all with a very trans non-binary slant to it. And a lot of sarcasm. Mostly sarcasm actually. That's really the base of this channel. Thank you all so much for being here. Please give this video a like. It helps me a lot in the wild west of the YouTube algorithm. And I will hopefully see you all soon. Bye! Sorry, I'm just like so distracted by myself. Oh my god. Oh my god, they are so hot!